The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a 30-plus year veteran and a well-known film producer, basically passionate about bringing new ideas to the big screen, small and more. He began his career studying acting at HBstudios in New York and the Lee Strasburg Theater Institute in New York and Los Angeles. He's also worked with Donnie Wahlberg, Rosemcgowan, Willarnett, and amandapeete, and also involved with Silent Partner Entertainment, 20th Century Fox, and Vivicafox Studios. And he's got a new picture, which is a wild ride in the fabulous, fabulous world of Tylerpherry. And who's this person? And it's a holy mission from God to tell his family and stories and inspire his community. Yet the devil has plans of his own. And what is this? Is it another church movie? Not another church movie? We'll find out what it is. Live, ladies and gentlemen, at Plus Studios in somewhere in outside Los Angeles. The multi-talented, well-known film producer, passionate about bringing ideas to life. It's not another church movie. Ladies and gentlemen, multi-talented James Michael Cummings. James, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. It's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on board, James. You're a 30-year veteran known for passionate about bringing ideas into the big screen. You began a career with the HBstudios in New York and Lee Strasburg Theater Institute in New York and Los Angeles. You also worked with Donnie Wahlberg, rosemcgowan, amandapeete, and more. You were involved with Silent Partner Entertainment, 20th Century Fox, and HBstudio. You also did City on the Hill, Werewolf, Southie, and you've had an amazing list of accomplishments. And you have a new movie, which is a wild ride in the fabulous world of Tylerpherry, which is called Not Another Church Movie. Is it another church movie? I guess we'll find out. Before getting all that, James, tell us how you first got started.
Wow, Mike, you really did your research there.
Well, that's what broadcasters do. It's like, I'm old school, just like most people. You go to Lee Strasburg and everything like that. You learn from Walter Cronkite and all that. You've got to do your stuff. So,
okay, so let's see. I started out at HBstudios. That was the woman who had written Respect for Acting, and she was it's Herbert Berghoff. It was Herbert Berghoff and his wife she had written Respect for Acting, and I'll remember her name before this is all over and done with, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, I realized I didn't fit in at that school, and a friend of mine was going to Lee Strasburg Theater Institute, and there was a teacher there, and there were two teachers there, and one was Janet Ward, and Janet Ward was in a movie called Under the Influence with Gene Hackman. And then there was George Loros, who was, he was the guy in Serpico that shot Serpico in the face. He was the cop who flashed the badge and said, "Hey, Serpico, you made a couple of grand a week up there. Well, guess what? We make 40 grand a week down here, pal. And you ain't going to screw that up, right?" So,
I love that movie. Who could forget that? Serpico, amazing.
So that was George Loros. And, when I got to his class, actually, I didn't really fit in that much either because, I come from Boston and I was a real, true Bostonian and a neighborhood kid, and worked in the city and grew up and, had great jobs and was, I give all when I people say, who is it that you need to give credit for your career? Like, who is it you think about? Who is it that you aspire. Well, listen, it was Larry Bird that taught me how to be great.
Larry Bird?
Right. That guy, it's like I used to work at the Boston Garden. I'd watch him running his laps and I'd see him play that game. And I was just a little kid. And of course I was a big fan of his. And, but it's like you'd see this guy, he wasn't Magic Johnson, but he could play against him. And he wasn't, Michael Jordan, but he could beat him every time, so there was something special about hard work and dedication. And, there's a certain thing about acting and the word desire. And because an actor has one job, and, after learning your craft as an actor, like anyone who takes on a craft, you take it on, and whether it be, jujitsu or taekwondo or, method acting, right? Like whatever.
Yeah.
Craft, right? And you take it on, and then what happens is like everybody else, you become, a journeyman in a way, and whether you like it or not, you're perfecting that. So like here I was in New York City, and I had found a teacher that I could believe in, and I had met Willarnett, and he and I had become friends. So
nice.
So like it was wild because we were just young. Like I think I was 20 and he was 19 or 17. I don't know. We were young, like, right. But him and we met, and he had a love in his heart for characters and to be other things. And he was easy to have fun with in these acting classes. And then, I learned through like method acting that it didn't matter that it's not that I couldn't remember lines or whatever. It's like, I didn't really understand what acting was about. So what does it matter if you're remembering something if you don't know how to present it well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the method acting comes in, and that's where, working with guys like Will, and then as I would go along, I'd have friends of mine that were writers, and and then I'd be like, well, George Alloro used to say you have to create your own work. So I'd find people who write this stuff, and I had these jobs. I was a bike messenger, and I worked at a tanning salon, and I was a doorman at a bar, and I saved up my money, and I produced a play. It was me, Will Arnett, and another guy named Dave McGochran, and it was this little tiny crappy play, and we did it in this little tiny crappy playhouse. But you know what? We turned it on. And what happened was that gave us a confidence to know that we could act on the stages in New York City, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Will and I went on to I wrote a movie called Southie, and I raised all the money for that movie. I wrote it with a guy named David McLaughlin, and John Shea came on board, and he became a director of the movie, and and then Donnie Wahlberg came on board of that. So like imagine you're going to acting school and you're being told you can do something, and you're going every day and you have no idea, can you do it? And then you do a couple of plays and you do a couple of independent films. Like I was in a movie called Ed's Next Move that won the Audience Award at Sundance, and I had a great little part in that. And then, a year later, I'm making my own movie, right? 2 years later, making my own movie. And, it's like, it's just kind of amazing that there was a process there that I don't know is there anymore for anybody else. I don't know how anyone, because of technology, because of IA, because of taking away the experience, like what is it to make it? What is to go on a journey? Because isn't that what makes you talented? Isn't that what makes you great? Isn't it taking that risk and having to find out who you are and up on stage in an acting class in New York City? And how do you turn that into a profession where now you're in the Screen Actors Guild, and and then you write a movie in the Writers Guild, and and then you're working amongst these great professionals that you could only dream of, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know how it happens.
Well, I can tell you one thing. A lot of it happens. We'll talk about some of your works and everything else before we get to Not Another Church Movie. And you talk about method actors. Who are some favorite actors and actresses, especially method actors and screenwriters growing up?
Oh, my favorite actors. Well, see, my favorite actors. My favorite actors.
Think about going back to the Boston days.
Well, no, I mean, that's what I want to go back to. I want to go back to those days because, you know, I always loved, you know, like the old movies, right? So I really love the old movies, and you know, like William Holden, and you know, and as I get older, of course, you know, you'd look and you'd see Gene Hackman, right? You'd see
I love Gene Hackman, my favorite.
Right? You know, but like guys like honestly, like Sean Penn, man, like being a little kid and watching him in that movie Bad Boys, and like seeing how cool he was, but how he was just great, and you could see that there was a vulnerable side to characters that he would play, and so you'd see guys like him do it, right? And then of course, you know, you'd see Matt Dillon, right? I mean,
Matt Dillon, I
cool,
think,
dude, the king of cool, right?
Oh yeah, I think I remember him. It's like we're talking about all those ocean movies. What is it? Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, 13. It's just like, you know, I think that just stood out right there.
Talking about Matt Damon, but I was talking about Matt Dillon. But let's talk about Matt Damon. Matt Damon's awesome, right? Like, and you know, look at Good Will Hunting. So that's honestly, Good Will Hunting's become kind of one of my favorite movies, which is a surprise because, you know, at the time when I made my movie Southie, they were making their movie at the same time. So you can sometimes get caught up where, you know, because you were close to something, like you saw something happen. Like, so when I saw that movie, it was so moving to me and so emotional. And then as time would pass, I would say, wow, those two guys like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, what they did was so special, right? And so I love that movie. Like, I really, truly love that. I love, let's see, like, I mean, see, Sylvester Stallone, what I appreciated the most about the movie Rocky, even today, is that it's an emotional movie. It's a movie where everyone can relate. It doesn't matter who you are, you can relate to that movie. You can use that movie to somehow inspire you, right? So what, isn't that the greatest thing a human being can do, is do something where not only they entertain you, but they inspire you, right?
And certainly does. They also started a trend of you know, drinking raw eggs, having a dozen and just guzzling. It's like that was like a dare most people did. It's like, hey, if Rocky can do it, so can you. So
yeah, and listen, I met Sylvester Stallone because I've written movies, and you know, my movies would get bought, and then sometimes, you know, they would end up in his hands, and next thing you know, he'd want to meet me, and I'd be down at Peninsula Hotel, and we'd be in a room together for a couple of weeks, and like reading through a movie and fixing it and whatever. And, you know, you'd almost get these things done with this guy, but listen, he's in such high demand. Just when you're going to do it, he's going to do something else. Right. But that's the whole thing. It's like, it's the journey, right? It's totally the journey.
And certainly is. And a couple other method actors that came to mind for me was Robert De Niro and, going back, Jackie Gleason.
Man, I love Jackie Gleason. So, you know, recently, you know, I put on Smokey and the Bandit just to watch him, you know, and then of course you get caught up in these movies. So when you say, like, you know, Smokey and the Bandit, you know, Clint Eastwood, you know, all these guys, but I look at my guys now and I look at, you know, like, look, man, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, the flicks they're making. So Chuck McClane, this is how Chuck McClane, who I did City on a Hill with. So Chuck McClane is a guy that I will say is probably one of the most important people in my career at this point right now, in me having a career. You know what I mean? Because of City on a Hill. Like, so I made the movie Southie. That went really well. I did that with Donnie Wahlberg. Donnie Wahlberg, unbelievable, awesome, talented, can figure anything out kind of guy.
And certainly does. And you also did Werewolf as well, too, and some other films. I'll talk more about that with the amazing James Michael Cummings. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. In Evil Evan endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Apple Music, Odyssey, Pandora, and Radio Public as well, too. Also, follow us on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube as well, and follow us on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once and Wrinkles, also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here, amazing 30-year veteran, well-known film producer from Boston, James Michael Cummings here on the Mike Wagner Show. Before we talk about his latest Not Another Church movie, you also did Werewolf as well, too, with frankgrillo. And tell us more about that.
Wow. Well, that movie just got picked up in Cannes, UK. Today it was announced in Variety that it was the distribution rights were bought up in the UK. I'm so incredibly grateful to have even been a part of that project. It was, I had been cast in that picture, and they had another guy in the lead, and he was going to do it, and then it's just about to happen, and for some reason or another he fell out, and it was weird because I had trained for that role, I had worked out for that role, and I was ready for that role. And then that movie fell apart. So then I got a call that, Frank Grillo was doing it. Stephen C. Miller was directing it. And, I was getting the opportunity to meet Stephen, and Stephen gave me, actually what happened was Craig Chapman, who's the producer of that film, he had seen me do an episode of City on a Hill.
Okay.
And so I had my head shaved, and it was a scene where I was in jail, and he called me up after seeing that, and he said, "Hey man, I got a role for you. I want to talk to you about a role for you." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." So that's how it all began. I mean, and Craig, I have to say that because he's been a big supporter of mine. He's a big producer in town, and whenever there's a role that he thinks I'm right for, he not only does he give me the opportunity, he'll throw his 2 cents in there for me, and when you have somebody who can do that for you, that's great. So I got to meet Steven. Steven's an intense director, man. He loves what he does, and he knows what he's doing. So when you're working with a guy like him, you better be on your toes, and you better be prepared. So I met him. I knew what I had to do to be a part of that picture. And then, of course, the amazing Frank Grillo, dude. I mean, that guy, when he decided to sign on to Werewolves, it just brought a great sense of everybody knew what this movie was now. It's like he had done that movie, The Gray, right? That, if you think about it, with Liam Neeson, right?
Yes, I love Liam Neeson.
Right. And Frank Grillo did that movie with him, but he also did that TV series Kingdom, right?
Oh, yes, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Right. So he is a serious dude who's a great actor. And this was the movie that he was going to get a chance to do his thing. And I'll tell you, man, he did it. He's a superstar in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And certainly did as well, too. You're also involved with Bakerboys and Mad Cowboys, and tell us more about those. And if there's other films you're involved with,
No,
feel free
let's
to
stick with
talk about those.
werewolves, dude. Let's stick with werewolves. I'll tell you
Sounds
what.
good.
That's coming out November 6th. Okay. I mean, that's coming out December 6th in 3,000 theaters. I co-star in that picture. I play Cody. I'm the next door neighbor to Frank Grillo, his character, and we were in the war. We were in in the service together. And when this goes down, everybody's freaking out in the neighborhood. And, even though he and I have a relationship and he was my captain, tension's still high and we still butt heads. You see, an intense movie, man. It's intense.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it's like, this movie is going to be huge. It's going to be universal, right? It's going to be a big movie. And these guys, the producers, so Miles Nestel is a producer and, Craig's a producer. Craig, they went to great lengths to make sure that they would do this right. So like Dave Murphy, who worked on this picture as well. Like, see, there's so many people who worked on this movie that went above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And now the picture's just screened at Cannes and it just picked up, a UK distributor. And it's like, this movie's in the black already. It hasn't even gone to the big screen.
Really? And that's coming out, you say, December 6th? December
6th, it comes out on the big screen. And then on Christmas Day, it'll be coming out on PVOD.
PVOD. Okay. All right.
That's Prime premium video on demand. So that means it'll be in people's homes and, in hotel rooms, like still in theaters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And makes a great Christmas gift too, if you think about it. So I'm marking on my calendar for sure. We want everybody to do that. Werewolves coming December 6th. And you also got,
Lou Diamond Phillips is in it too. Lou Diamond Phillips is in Werewolves, dude. And he rocks it. Oh
my God. Lou Diamond Phillips. I love them in La Bamba. And when I saw it, I says, this guy's going to be one hell of a superstar. It's like, I love the guy ever since he debuted in La Bamba.
Yeah. It's funny, all the cast, I know them by their names, like in the names of the characters they play. You know what I mean? It's like I've been busy, right? Since I'd done that movie, I went and shot the scenes in that movie. They went fantastic. It was down in Puerto Rico. And then there's a final wolf fight because I don't want to give it away, but there's a final wolf fight, and that took place on the stages out here in Hollywood. And these guys, they spared no expense in making sure that these fight scenes were going to work. And we went at it and they worked, and we worked really hard. And now you're going to see a movie. It's going to be called Werewolves, and you're going to see it over and over and over again,
Well, that's going to be on my bucket list for sure, too. And I'm making a note of it as well, too. And, before we, check out Werewolves as well, too. And, of course, we got Not Another Church Movie. And is it really another church movie? We'll find out 1 minute with James Michael Cummings. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, and brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's Here Missing. We'll be back with the amazing multi-talent James Michael Cummings of Not Another Church Movie after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back at the multi-talented 30-year veteran, James Michael Cummings on the Mike Wagner Show, and he's done a lot of work and also mentioned about Werewolves coming December 6th. But right now, we got this one church movie out there, or is it not another church movie? That's, about to be released very soon as well, featuring Jamiefoxx, Vivicafox, Kevindaniels, and Mickey Rourke. And tell us more about that.
Well, that is going to be coming out. So it went out theatrically, and it was, we just cracked the top 10, and actually we're 11. And when we opened, and it was great because we went into the box office. And something strange happened because the movie came out, and then it made more money each day until the second week where we had the natural drop off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's amazing is the word of mouth, the response, and now that we're going to be coming out on Amazon and on 6/28/2024, and that's really where we're going to be premiering because. It's a huge audience for this movie. It's a spoof picture. Jamie Foxx plays God. Mickey Rourke plays a devil. But it's really about Ma Dude Hims. Ma Dude Hims is played by Tylerpherry, who also plays the Tylerpherry. It's Kevindaniels, and he's an amazing actor. And he takes on these roles. And then we have Vivicafox in there as Judge L'Oreal and all these people. So Johnny Mac had this crazy idea to write this movie, and he wanted to make this movie. And, with the cast that wanted to do it, I just thought it was a good idea. And I got, some friends together, and we put this thing together, and now it's going through its process. It's debuting.
Mm-hmm. And certainly is as and if you're wondering what the movie is about, we'll just give you a super small hint. It's basically a wild ride through the fabulous world of Tylerpherry. We're talking about that, and his holy mission from God basically tells families and stories to inspire the community. Yet the devil has plans of his own.
And he does, man.
He does. Mickey Rourke, yeah, he's the devil himself. Yeah, he's a great devil.
I'll tell you why he's the devil too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because the way that he took on the character, he showed up, he knew his stuff, and he made it simple. He made it simple. And so when, in the movie, as you go through it, it's just about Tylerpherry one day, just like the movie Oh God with George Burns.
Oh, I remember that movie. Yes.
It's similar in a way where all of a sudden God shows up and gives this guy a direction. And next thing you know, he's got to do all these impossible things. And and what we do is we spoof all the urban church films, and in doing so it does a lot of callbacks. And we have a character in the call, Oprah Winfall, who is basically paying homage and spoofing Oprah Winfrey, right?
Oh yeah, I was reading that. So it's I figured they're making fun of Oprah. It's you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, but they really get cars in this one.
It's funny, it's I don't even know if you can make fun of Oprah. I think Oprah is fun. You know what I mean? And I think if anyone's making funny of doing a parody on you means that you've made it, right? Yeah. I think Oprah's awesome.
I will definitely keep that in mind for sure.
So, it's to make that movie, to have that opportunity to Johnny Mac had written a story. He was the lead writer on the Real Husbands of Hollywood. He worked with Kevin Hart. I had met him at Jamie Foxx's house many years ago. Andrei Barkoviak, who is a gentleman who made Romeo Must Die, Exit Wounds, Cradle to the Grave, Doom as a director. He was supposed to direct the movie, and it was just one of those situations where we had a start date, we had to go, and the movie was, we had to make this movie. Andre couldn't make this movie. I said to Johnny Mac, you know what, buddy? You're going to direct this movie. I'm going to support you. We're going to put a cast to it. We're going to go shoot it. And then we're going to do that. We did that. We shot it. We got it done. Briarcliff, Tom Ortenberg came on. He saw the picture. He picked it up for theatrical distribution. We made a deal with Universal, who's taking it out. And that's on. When you see this come out on Amazon, through Universal and home entertainment, it's like it's going to be there in your living room. You're going to get to click on it. You're going to get to see a spoof movie, something you haven't seen in years, with Jamie Foxx playing God and Mickey Rourke as a devil. And how can it get better than that?
The one thing I can see is amen.
Amen.
That's all I can say about None Other Church Movie. And of course, you also got something upcoming as well, too. Talked about Werewolves coming December 6th. You've got Dweller that's coming up as well, too, later on. And tell us more about that.
Yeah, Dweller. It's a horror picture, and it's a movie that was not finished. So we picked it up, and we had to get the music rights cleared, and we did all of that, which is wonderful because it's a great picture. And we're excited about it, and we are planning that release at the moment, and that's going pretty well.
Oh, great. And when's the anticipated release of Dweller?
Well, we were talking about that today, and we actually can't even we have so many things to do up until June 27th that we have to stay focused on that one thing. So we're doing that right now, and then after that, we'll focus on Dweller. So Dweller's next. And then after that, we have Werewolves. And then after that, I have a movie called Everything Goes to Pot, which Valerie McCaffrey has written. And she wants to direct the picture. And, we're thinking about people who can star in that movie right now.
Oh, okay. And when's that going to start as well, too, in the anticipated release? Everything Goes to Pot. When's that going to start?
Well, let's see. So November, or let's see, December. I'm not so sure, because I'd say February, probably March, because that's when I'll probably be available, and Valerie will be available. She's very busy right now, so we're trying to make that happen.
Okay.
We want there's people we want A-list stars to be in it. It's a great script. Everything Goes to Pot. I mean, you can imagine what it's about. There's a lot of actors and actresses we'd love to be in this movie. So we gotta get this stuff done and get moving.
And before it goes to pot, literally.
Yeah, before it goes to pot, before everything goes to pot.
But not the script, though, that's for sure. In the meantime, where can we find all your works at, including Not Another Church Movie?
Well, Not Another Church Movie is in theaters right now. You can go to the theater near you right now, and you can go see Not Another Church Movie. It will be coming out. So this will be the last week in theaters, and in a week you'll be seeing it on premium on demand. So when you go onto your TV and you type in Not Another Church Movie, it'll come up on your screen, and you'll be able to rent it. You'll be able to buy it. You'll be able to do whatever you want with it. It's going to be there for you. And it is, it's a comedy that people haven't seen in a while. It's irreverent, and it's funny as hell.
And I like that one. Funny as hell. I'm sure everybody gets that. And what's your website, and where can they find all your works at?
Well, if you go on to amazon.com, I mean, everything's on there for everybody these days. They kind of run the show, right? Yeah, I think there, and I believe Hulu is where you're going to find City on a Hill. And City on a Hill was just the most awesome experience. I talked about Chuck McLean, and him. It was wild because I really wanted to be in that show, and he was like, "Well, look, I got to go to Boston. I got to set this show up. Why don't you come with me?" And so I went there. We worked really hard. We set it up, and he got me an audition, and that got me on the show, and I got to work with Kevin Bacon and Jonathan Tucker and Amanda Clayton and all these great actors and actresses, and Jill Hennessy. And the first season of that show was unbelievable. It was awesome, right?
Oh yeah.
And then the second season was awesome, and then COVID came, and I was on set when COVID came, so I I had run into, so Tom Fontana was the executive producer. So him and I, like all of a sudden the COVID announcement happened and I was going to get on an elevator and he's getting off. And I said, "Hey, Tom." And he goes, "Hey, James." And I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "I don't know, but I suggest you get back to the hotel." And I said, "Yeah." And then I got there and all of a sudden it was like COVID shut down.
Oh, my goodness.
So we had already shot like the first half of a scene that I had to shoot. And now we were shut down. So now we went away for a whole year. And then I got a call and they were like, "Okay, we're going to reshoot that scene." And they finished season 2. So we got season 2 finished. Season 3, they didn't really get to do what they wanted to do. They had to, that's where guys like Tom Fontana and having his experience kick in, because they have to finish the show for the network. Chuck McClane went on to write this movie that's going to be coming out right now with Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. And I think Ben's a producer on it. And that movie is with I think Doug Liman directed it. So he went off to do that. And season 3 went on, and then it didn't come back for season 4. And it was disappointing because I knew the 5-year plan they had for the picture. And I know that's the amazing thing about when a strike happens or you go through a situation, the business changes, because it's like you're starting from scratch. You're starting a new garden, right? Mm-hmm. And it grows from there. And it's a garden of entertainment, and entertainment always finds a way.
Mm-hmm. And certainly did as well, too. We're here with James Michael Cummings of None Other Church Movie, also Werewolves, coming December 6th, along with Dweller and more on the Mike Wagner Show. And James, a couple more things. You mentioned Chuck McClane and some of your influences. Who are some of your other biggest influences in your career?
Well, I mean, so John Shea was an influence. He was the first director that I worked with of stature who, had a passion for filmmaking and really, gave his heart and soul to this movie. Donnie Wahlberg, like I said, he's somebody that I think that I was lucky to meet him in my life and to work with him for the amount of time that I did. And, I think we did 13 movies together and a couple TV series. And, what I got to learn is from, like, that guy's a class act. Like, I got to learn, what it's like to be a class act in show business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Certainly did. And just another thing, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point? In general.
Yeah. To really, to listen to the people you believe in, and to do your best. You have to be your best. And the best thing anyone can do is start the day with a prayer. Write down your lists of the things you need to do that are absolutely important in your career. Don't make the mistakes that so many people make where you put your family last, because then you'll pay that price later. And just remember that you can do anything you want in life if you're willing to pay the price and if you're willing to write it down.
Mm-hmm. And that's really good advice indeed. We'll certainly do that. We're here with the multi-talented, well-known film producer, 30-year veteran, James Michael Cummings of None Other Church Movie, coming up Werewolves here on the Mike Wagner Show. James, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love to have you back. Again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out the goods?
Well, notanotherchurchmovie.com, www.james-michael-cummings.com, and City on a Hill is, you can get that's Showtime. I believe it's Hulu. Blah 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 blah. Werewolves is coming your way, man. It's coming your way, and you'll be hearing about that in December 6th comes out December 25th. And let's rock and roll.
Sounds great. All right, James, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love having you back. We wish our best. And James, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you, sir.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.